Ooh, doggy, what is going on, beautiful people? I hope and pray that you all are doing phenomenally well. I'm super excited to have uh, Sherrod here with us today with one of the best, if not the best, real estate investing tool, resource, CRM that's available out there to us, and that's REsimpli. And so I'm excited to have you on here to talk about the platform, share a little bit about just your background and how it all came about, and just kind of have a casual conversation and just highlight the awesomeness, if that's the right thing to say,
Yeah.
about the platform. One thing that I truly believe that right now is one of the most amazing, incredible times to be a real estate investor because there's platforms like yours that just help expedite what we're doing and help us scale and grow to almost our wildest imaginations, really. Versus when you started, a lot of these resources aren't weren't even
Absolutely.
weren't even an option then. So, but again, brother, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for being generous with your time and being here with us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Clifford, for having me. I'm excited to be on this show. Yeah. No, I'll give a little background about myself. I live out here in San Diego, right outside of San Diego. I've been living here since 2015. I
Mhm.
went to Canada for 3 years in between, but then moved back. This is permanent home now. But I started investing back in August 2010 is when I bought my first investment property. And then I bought rental properties. Then from there, I started buying some flips in August 2015. I was living in Chicago at that time when I bought my properties. And I invested in Indiana right outside of Chicago. I still invest there. Then August 2015, I moved to San Diego area now where I live for my wife's job. And then I started looking at software that I would need in my business. I was doing about 40, 50 flips a year. I didn't find anything that was good that I could really rely on. And Podio was pretty much what everyone was using back in the day. I didn't like the way it looked. I didn't like the idea of having to integrate all these different software to make it work. So 2017, I hired a couple of developers just to create something for myself and just kind of, became what ReSimpli is now.
Nice. And there's so many things that I actually want to hit on that you kind of glanced over. Number one, did you say about 40 or 50 flips a year?
Yeah, I was doing about 40,
That-
50. I've done since I started investing. I think I've done about 800 deals now. At this point, I do about 20, 25 flips a year. It's all remote, still in Indiana. Just I've gotten busy with recently and other things that I have. So I do about 20, 25 flips a year now.
So I think it's definitely safe to say you have the experience to,
A little bit, a little bit.
to back all
Yeah.
of this up. That is absolutely insane. And I have so many questions just about that because what's funny is flipping is my least favorite strategy. And so for
Yeah.
you doing that many at one point, 40, 50, like I can't even imagine that size of an operation and
Right.
how you probably would have had to have that thing running like a fine machine, so to speak, to keep things
It's
in motion.
actually it's actually pretty lean business. So right now we do about 20, 25. Maybe we'll do 30 flips, but it's just me. I live in California and my project manager who lives in California an hour north of me. And then we have two people in Philippines. So we don't actually have anyone remote, I mean anyone local in Indiana. Just the contractors and the subcontractors. I haven't looked at any of the flips that we're doing. I haven't been inside on any of the flips in last 5 years, I think. So
Oh,
it's very hands off, very systematized business for me. My project manager, she goes out to Indiana once every 4 months or so, maybe like 2, 3 times a year, just to meet the contractors. But otherwise, it's very we've set up systems and processes in our business, and that's what we follow day in day out.
that's beautiful and extremely impressive. And I would venture to say there's not many people in this industry doing those type of numbers that you're doing. Despite what the YouTube gurus or Instagram gurus may have you
Right.
believe. Like those are some very, very impressive numbers. And I'm definitely uh, just honored, yeah, again, that you're here to be spending time with us and just sharing any little bit of wisdom that you have with us for sure. So that's how it sounds like you were solving your own problems, and that's kind of what birthed the platform.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. So the two couple of developers that I hired, they created a product that I was using for good 2 years before, towards the end of 2019, we started opening it up for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of started growing from there. Then we started connecting with other investors through word of mouth. It just kind of started scaling from there, and it's turned into what it is now. When we started the company, we had three important criteria. One, it had to be an all-in-one software where everyone from my team could be on one software. It had to be super simple to use, hence the name REsimpli. And third, it had to give really good KPI. So I come from accounting background. So especially after I moved from Chicago to California, it was important that I was able to make decisions based on the numbers in my business and not based on the gut feeling. So those
Yeah.
were the three things: simple to use, all in one, and give really good KPIs.
And it's so funny. I have this saying where I say, it's hard to scale complicated. The more simpler that you can keep things, the better off we'll be in our business completely.
Absolutely. It's
And
it's easy to do things that are complicated, but it's very difficult to make things that are simple. So you need to spend more time upfront to make things simple. But once you do that, it's a dream.
yeah,
Like just with my flipping business, we'll do like revenue of about maybe 700, 750 this year, and I'll net about 250, 300 from it without me spending more than 10, 15 minutes a day on that business.
I'll
It
take that
just,
all day
yeah.
long.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Just, I mean, if I just look at my rate of return on my time that I'm putting into that business versus what I'm getting,
Mhm.
it's incredible. So, but that's only possible because we spend a lot of time upfront adding systems and processes just to have a very streamlined business on the back end,
Yeah.
from design decisions to who to work with and what sort of things to do. It's just like everything's been decided upfront. And then we're like, okay, let's just go ahead and do this. If it's working, then there's no need to change anything with it.
Oh, 100%. I think a lot of folks don't take that into consideration, like the amount of time that it takes them, right? Like
Yep.
if you're making a certain amount of money, but then again, you're spending 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day just to make that. Like, is it
Yeah,
really worth your time? You know,
exactly.
I even look at some of the flips that people do, and I've been guilty of this too, where we get a flip, we get into it, we're spending all this time, effort, and energy 6 months down the line, and we walk away with 40K. And like, was that really worth it? Like,
Yep.
really? So
Yeah, it makes sense if you know what your end goal is. It's not going to be like that from day one, but if every day you keep improving and keep working towards making it easier to manage that business, then you definitely get there, right?
yeah,
If
for
you
sure.
know that, hey, I don't want to be super involved in the business, but I want systems in place that are going to help me get to that place, and then you just keep working towards it. Every day you keep making improvement. Like any rental property that we buy, we don't even think about the paint color, we don't even think about the flooring, the light fixtures, the plumbing, faucets, the appliances, like those. Like imagine if you don't have to make those decisions in your business, and you like just basically get up and just, everything the contractor needs to know is already there. Of course they will, like sometimes we have to make a decision. We bought an 11 unit property and there was a garage that was in pretty bad condition. So that's where we had to make a decision. Do we, fix up the garage, or do we tear it down? We decided to tear it down. It was just like an easier decision for the long term. So we just tore it down, and then like, okay, that's done. We just had to make that decision one time and we don't have to worry about that. So just, I think doing a lot of those things make life much easier in the long term.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, to the kind of shifting gears to the platform, or back to the platform, I am really I'm really excited about it because we had met before this call and you were showing me the platform and showing me how much easier basically my business would be utilizing this platform. And so, full disclosure, y'all, we're going to be working with REsimpli and transferring it out there. I've been the one saying, hey, just use Podio. It's cheap. Just use it, right? I've been using that since day one. But you broke it down to me and showed me, like, hey, this is how much easier and simpler you can streamline what you're doing and what we're doing. And so I kind of want to share some of that, if we can, with everybody.
Sure.
They can see if they're just getting started. And I'll even throw out there too, y'all. There's three things that I truly believe stop people from getting deals: volume, consistency, and follow-up, right? Well, you need to be able to manage your follow-ups. You need to be able to do the volume, right? And that's where a CRM is going to really come into play. And being able to have one that's easy to use that will help you also hit the volume as well and stay consistent with it, I think is extremely important. And so, again, I guess let's show some of the audience how they can best use this, whether they're just getting started or they have a full-blown business already and they currently using Podio. Y'all, I'm guilty. I know we might need to give up Podio a little bit, right? Swallow our pride and our peel and like, okay, let's make this transition.
All right. Do you see the screen that says leads?
Let me. Oh, there we go. Yes, sir.
All right. So it says leads right here. That's highlighted.
Yes, sir. We got you.
Okay, perfect. Right. Yeah, I don't see the StreamYard camera, but so when the way we think about the business for a real estate investor is you have like 4 pillars of a successful business. So you have data, like how to manage your data, and then how to market to them, so you have from marketing of leads coming in, how do you convert more of those leads into deals? And then the last pillar is your operation side of it. How do you make sure you're making the most money in your business? So your cost per or your profit per deal is the highest. So it's your data, marketing, sales, and operation. So I'm just going to kind of go over a quick demo based on those 4 pillars. So on the data side, we have like list stacking, where you can upload all your lists that you have. We have driving for dollar built in, that's included in all the plans. And then we have free skip tracing coming. So you can skip trace all these records for free, get phone numbers, email addresses, and then you can start dialing out from within REsimpli. So on the data side, you get list stacking, driving for dollars. So we have a native iOS and Android app that you can download and start using it for driving for dollars. Then you can do you can dialer from within REsimpli, direct mail, and website. So that's on the data side. On the marketing side, again, like dialer and direct mail, then you can go into any record. If you have a phone number, just start calling from here. That would be on your marketing side, or you can do direct mail from within REsimpli, start receiving the call. So any call that you receive, any call that you're making, text, email, that can all be done within REsimpli. So that would be on the marketing side. Once you have your data pulled, once you have stacked all your lists, whether you're calling them, texting them, emailing them, or sending them direct mail, and you have those leads coming in, that's where you'll manage all your leads. So this would be a pipeline to manage your leads in REsimpli. Again, you can go into any of these records, you can call them, text them, all the call recordings, all the communication that you're having with the lead, it's all here. Email address, you can email from within REsimpli.
I want to pause. I want to pause if I may, because I don't know if people caught that. But you said that y'all include skip tracing.
Correct. So skip tracing is now included for free. That's actually coming out in a week or so. We have that update coming out, but skip tracing is included free on every single plan.
Is there a limit on how many?
So each plan has a limit. So, but the minimum is like 10,000 a month you get for free. So you can skip trace 10,000. And then if you're on the highest plan, you can skip trace up to 50,000 free every single month.
Which is absolutely insane. So I just wanted to make sure that, I mean, I knew that, but y'all, just having or saving that cost and skip tracing 10,000 leads is insane to me. And literally when and this is, I'm not joking, y'all. When he told me that the skip tracing was included, I was like, why? Like it almost sounded too good to be true. I was like, wait, hold on. Why are you doing this? Right. Um, but his goal is just to make one of, and I don't want to speak for you, but just a platform that is like no other, y'all. And that's why I'm so excited about it. So now we can manage our data through there. We can skip trace through there, going into the marketing. Now I can do my cold calling through there. We can send out our SMS through the platform. So there's no need for team members to be hopping around and trying to manage all of these other different accounts. It's all housed in one. And then two, we don't have to also worry about crazy integrations and Zapiers and things of that nature.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's where, like at the end of the day, Clifford, you know it, as well as anyone else. At the end of the day, like any system works, but what REsimpli does it makes it easy to follow a system, right? You could go to any gym, like if I put it in a different, you could go to any gym and get in better shape, but you want to go to a gym that's going to make you want to come back regularly, right? Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
that's kind of how we think about REsimpli. Is like it's a system that we made that's going to make using a system super simple. Like, again, no knock on Podio, but if you use Podio and then you have to go into Zapier, I don't even know, like Globiflow, and use a dialer, use a website, it's just like you're adding more friction to your business. It's going to make you want to use that software less. It's like going to a gym, right? If you had to take a bus and then take a bike and then like row across a canal to get to that, there's a very less chance you're going to get there, versus if there's a gym right across your street, you're going to go there more often, you're going to get in better shape. So that's kind of how we like to think, that we want to make it super simple for someone to come in and start using REsimpli. Like, they don't have to think about it. Everything they need is here. There's no reason for them where the system is going to make it harder for them to get a deal. That's kind of how we like to think about it. Like, we've added Gmail integration, so you can literally link up your Gmail account. You don't have to go into Gmail anymore. Any email you receive, any email you send out, it's all within REsimpli, and then you can just manage everything from right here. And then anything you're doing, like calling, texting, emailing, everything is in one platform. Like, even you can do e-sign, you can upload all your files. So for example, I don't use Google Drive, Dropbox in my business. All the pictures, videos that we have are all uploaded here. These are all shareable links, just like how you would use Google Drive or Dropbox. You can share this link, send it to anyone, and they can upload pictures. It's a public link. Anyone can upload pictures, videos, or anything to this, just like how you would use Google Drive. So like, we literally don't use anything outside of REsimpli. Everything we have, it's built right here. We try to make it as seamless as possible for anyone to come in and use. Yeah. And then our goal is to make it add the most value that we possibly can. So just think of, skip tracing, adding 10,000 records, that just alone is like $1,500 worth of value every single month in free skip tracing. You just come in, like $1,500 a month, free skip tracing credits. And we're using the best skip tracing data provider. You get that for free every single month. And then now there is no reason, like cost is not an issue for you not to get a deal in your business. So that's kind of how we like to think about it, is like the more value that we add, the bigger impact we can have in the real estate investor community.
Yeah. And it really is. And again, I'm guilty of the one kind of like with the integrations and just thinking, well, this is a part of it, right? Is kind of what I would tell myself. I got to, piece all of these little puzzles together. But God forbid that there's a break in one of those chains and there's so many hiccups that come up. So again, having it all at our fingertips
Yep.
makes it a lot more easier. And then if
Absolutely.
nothing else, the skip tracing alone makes this an insane value. Like, it just
Exactly.
a no brainer right there for somebody
Exactly. Yes.
just getting started.
Yeah. For getting started, like, imagine you could just drive for dollars within REsimpli for free, skip trace, call them. Like, it's just such a low barrier now, no friction for you to just get started. Like, you're on a, out and about driving, just start adding properties, skip trace them, start calling them, texting them, emailing them from within REsimpli. Like,
You
you
know,
don't ever have to leave the platform.
you know what you're doing, right? Is you're taking away people's excuse.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Like when people say, "Oh, this doesn't work, that doesn't," but that's the thing, right? It's people
Yeah.
that are gonna succeed now. They're gonna be even more successful because it just they we've again, like I keep saying this, like, we're taking friction away from going from point A to point B. We're trying to make that line as straight as possible to go from point A to point B as we, as straight as we possibly can. So people just get up and they're like, okay, exactly, this is what I need to do if I just keep doing this. At the end of the day, the consistency is going to beat anything. Like if you consistently market, consistently follow up, consistently track your KPIs, you're going to be way ahead of anybody else in the game. And then we're
Mhm.
just trying to make that consistently doing those things much simpler than anybody else.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned KPIs a couple of times here. I think that is one of the most not talked about things in our industry as much, because you got to know, how much are you spending? Are you actually profitable? Like,
Yep.
what is your cost per
Oh,
deal?
you're so
It-
right. You're so right. I mean, I think it's the boring work in the business that actually makes you money. Like exactly what you talked about, like cost per deal, how much money you're spending in marketing versus how much money you're making in your business. Like in my opinion, the most important number to look at in your business is your ROI. So quickly, like if I just share, we have a KPI dashboard built in. So you can track all your KPIs, how much money you're spending in each marketing channel, how much money you're making, and you can track your ROI, which is for every dollar that you put in marketing, how much money it's coming back into the business. So anything less than 3x, that's not a good marketing channel. 3 to 5x is good. Anything over 5x is great. Like
yeah.
that's what we want people to think about when they're putting a dollar in the business, how much money is coming back. And for real estate investor, it's more or less a marketing business. If they stop doing marketing, they stop generating leads, they stop getting deals, and if they can be better at marketing, they're going to have such a big advantage over any other investors in their market.
Yeah, and I'll say too, just as and just to be fully transparent with everybody, uh, this was probably one of the hardest things for me getting started. I just knew, hey, yeah, I could go cold call and talk to some people. Y'all, this is probably one of the biggest regrets that I have, is not doing this sooner, like checking my KPIs or keeping up with this. And so, again, I'm not just trying to put uh, REsimpli on a pedestal here, but I wish I would have had this platform at the very beginning, to where I could actually know that I have a profitable business, what marketing strategies or what marketing streams are working the best for me. It's absolutely insane. And again, it's the boring work that nobody wants to talk about because it's not sexy, it's not fun, but this is what's going to make you profitable.
Oh, absolutely. Like if there's this saying that people in marketing talk about, like half of my marketing is working and the other half is not. I don't know which half is working. That's what we help you determine here. Like what marketing is working for you in your business. So imagine going back to the example of you pull a list, you're calling them, you're texting them, and you sending them direct mail. With this, you know exactly what is it that's actually getting you deals. Is it cold calling? Is it texting? Or is it direct mail? If you realize that it's actually direct mail, then you can stop doing cold calling and texting and just double down on direct mail, because that's the one marketing channel that's actually making you money. And then just keep doubling down on it. Like imagine how much more profitable you would be if you knew exactly what was working and you just did more and more of it, and then anything that wasn't working you just started cutting out of your business.
Mhm.
That's the power. I mean, I geek out about this stuff because I come from an accounting background. So it like I get super excited. I just did a call with our member community like an hour or so ago, just talking about this stuff. Like if investor just looked at their KPIs and PNL once a month, I guarantee they will be more profitable by at least 10 to 15%. Guaranteed, just by knowing what marketing is working, what's not working, and looking at their PNL, they will just automatically be 10-15% more profitable just by cutting out so many inefficiencies in their business.
And that's how you take it from a one-man hustle to an actual business.
Exactly. Yeah, that's I mean, if without knowing your numbers, then if you don't know your numbers and you're just continuously doing things and you don't know what's working, you have no idea what's working, what's not working, you basically created a job for yourself. And that's not the goal, right? I mean, people get into real estate for freedom of time and money. Yes, you can get money, but if you're not getting freedom of time, then is that money really worth? If you're just putting in, like Clifford, you mentioned earlier, if you're putting in like 10, 12 hours a day, yes, you're making more money, but is that really worth it when you don't have time to spend with your family, or do the things that you really want to do? And that this is what that helps you get in the right direction. Okay, this is what's working in my business, I need to do more of this. This is not
Nice.
working in my business, I need to do less of that. So that's where the magic comes in of the tracking your KPIs.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And um, I know we're getting kind of long here. I want to be mindful of your time. Um, is there anything else? Well, number one, I'll say to y'all, we'll have a link if this is something that you're interested in. Y'all know me, I only bring on companies and platforms and people that, number one, are in the business and work in the business. Two, companies and platforms that I truly believe in, that I'm working with, and that I see a massive value in. This is one of them. So if this is something that you're open to, and we are honored too that they're going to be a partner with the Real Estate Corral Investors Network. So we'll have a link, even with a discount, uh, in the comments, in the descriptions. But is there any kind of last words, so to speak, or anything that you want to go over before we wrap it up?
Yeah, one other thing I would say, you talked earlier about consistently following up, and
Mhm.
this is, I would say, one of the most loved feature in REsimpli is the drip campaign. This is where 60-70% of the deals that you people will generally close will come from the follow-up, and this basically makes the follow-up super super automated. You can set up these follow-up campaigns, and you can tell the system to what interval to send SMS, to remind you to call, to send RVM, email, direct mail. You can do webhook triggers, so you can build these out. Imagine if a lead comes in and they say, "Hey, I'm not interested in selling right now, follow up with me in 6 months." I guarantee, like, most of the people never follow up. But what this drip campaign does, it automatically follows up on your behalf. And it will remind you when you need to call. So you just come in, set those leads up in basically a dialing campaign. So you just do something like this. For example, I have, these leads that I need to follow up with. It just creates a dialing campaign for me. And then what I can just go ahead and do is I can just create a dialing campaign right here and then just start dialing these people. Once I dial, they'll get removed from my dialing list. And when I come back next day, more people will get added. So consistently following up, consistently marketing, having those leads come in, consistently following up, following a sales process, and then tracking your KPIs will just take you so much farther than most of the investors out there. So that's what I would say.
100%.
Yeah.
Uh, no, I love it. I absolutely love it, y'all. Again, check it out. I highly recommend it. I really do. It's something that we're implementing and going to be moving all of our stuff over from Podio. And even if you already have a CRM too, like you told me, that's an easy transition
Yeah.
to get that stuff switched over. Don't feel like it's going to be a tedious task, because that was one of my main things that I brought to you. Like, well, how are we going to move all of this stuff over?
Absolutely. Yeah, so any leads that anyone has, any phone numbers they have, anything basically that they can export out of the CRM, they can import, and any phone numbers will get transitioned over. So you don't lose any data. Everything gets transitioned over to REsimpli very easily.
I love it, brother. I love it. Well, thank you again for coming on here, sharing this with us, showing us, and kind of walking us through it. Y'all, there'll be a link in the chat. And also, how can they follow you and stay connected to you and everything you have going?
Yeah, absolutely. If they have any questions, they can reach out to me, Sharad at resimpli.com. I'm not super active on social media.
Okay.
I have a Facebook account, but I just use it for, like, we have a Facebook group for our users. That's the only purpose I use it for. But any questions they have, they can go to resimpli.com, reach out to our support team. Any questions they have on what plan would be best or any features or whatnot, our team will be able to answer that. Or if they have any questions that for me, then they can reach out directly to me at sharad@REsimpli.com.
I love it, brother. I love it. Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I loved it. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Chat with you soon.
Cool. Thank you.